Welcome to another explainer made by Forge College. Today we're diving into the foundations of RPC load balancing. In our previous lesson, we covered testing, optimizing, and validating cache strategies, which is great, but caching is really only half the battle. Today, we're bridging the gap into the literal and honestly sometimes chaotic logistics of where your Solana API requests actually go. Because the other half of the battle, it's making sure your servers literally don't catch fire. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to start by looking beyond caching, then we'll introduce a fun postal sorting metaphor, examine 3 distinct distribution strategies, weigh client versus server-side balancing, and finally look at some real-world traffic scenarios. All right, part 1. Beyond caching, solving the underlying distribution. Let's get into it. So we previously saw how aggressive cache times can kind of mask a messy, uneven request pattern, right? It feels like a massive win. But here's the hard truth. That optimization doesn't actually change the underlying footprint of where your calls land. Sure, caching reduces the sheer volume of requests, but your routing decisions determine exactly which endpoints see that surviving traffic. I mean, think about it. If you route a really heavy request to a server that's already overloaded, your cache is absolutely not going to save you from a massive latency spike. Okay, moving on to part 2. The postal sorting metaphor, routing letters to delivery trucks. To really visualize this, I want you to imagine a massive, bustling postal sorting center. Your incoming RPC requests, those are letters pouring down the chutes. And your RPC endpoints, those are the delivery trucks waiting out at the docks. So what exactly is RPC load balancing? Well, it's simply the mechanical process of sorting those requests, the letters, into different endpoints, the trucks, to manage network traffic without losing anyone's mail. As the operator, you essentially play postmaster. You have to decide the what, meaning the distribution pattern, and the where, as in where in your stock this sorting actually happens. Which brings us to part 3, 3 distribution strategies. Sorting the mail on the factory floor. First up on our toolkit is round robin. Imagine literally placing letters on a conveyor belt that just blindly and evenly alternates between the delivery trucks in sequential order. Truck 1, truck 2, truck 3, and repeat. It provides this beautifully simple fairness. But there is a catch, because it completely ignores the actual contents of the letter. It scatters related requests across every single truck in your fleet. It's perfectly fair, sure, but it completely breaks your cache locality, which pretty much renders those nice, warm endpoint caches totally useless. So, what's our second strategy? Consistent hashing. This is kind of like a smart sorting machine that stamps envelopes with regional codes. It ensures that letters destined for the exact same neighborhood, or for us, the same Solana account block, always go to the same truck. Consistent hashing perfectly preserves per-key locality. This is a total game changer because it massively improves your cache hit rates and cuts down on redundant back-end work. But the trade-off here is complexity. It requires some pretty intense ring rebalancing logic whenever a truck breaks down or, when a new one joins the fleet. And finally, we have sticky sessions. Picture a really stubborn passenger who completely refuses to switch trucks, reserving a permanent seat for a particular recipient until a timeout happens or a rebalancing event kicks in. Now, this strategy preserves upstream state, which is incredibly useful if you're running complex, multi-step simulations. But be careful, this stubbornness can dangerously concentrate your load. It can create major network hotspots if one truck suddenly ends up carrying all the heavy luggage. So, pulling that all together, evaluating latency versus throughput trade-offs really depends entirely on your traffic shape. As you can see, if you have stateless requests with a pretty even cost, round robin is your best friend. Got repeated requests for the exact same account keys? Consistent hashing is the clear champion there. And if you're relying heavily on provider-side caches for stateful flows, well, you might just have to brave the complexities of sticky sessions. All right, part 4, client versus server balancing. The operator's choice of control. Now, students in our API development courses debate this one passionately. Should we sort the mail at the very source or wait until it hits a central proxy? Let's weigh them. Client-side balancing means the senders are stamping precise addresses directly. This saves a whole network hop, giving you fantastic speed. But you have to constantly update every single client with an accurate list of healthy endpoints, which is tough. Server-side balancing, on the other hand, means sorting inside the central post office. This centralizes your decision-making, allowing for smarter global policies like rate limiting and rich telemetry. The cost? that central point of coordination becomes a single point of failure that you absolutely must protect. The really crucial takeaway here is this. When you're working with regional logistics partners, like Helius or Triton, for example, you have to route based on their capabilities, not their names. Don't just hard code route to Triton. Instead, ask your routing layer to evaluate provider capability flags, like supports edge cache. This is how you keep your architecture adaptable and resilient for when provider features inevitably change. Okay, let's wrap this up with part 5. Real-world traffic scenarios, mixing the mail efficiently. Theory is great and all, but let's actually look at the factory floor under pressure. Imagine your ATI handles this specific traffic split. 60% of it is high-volume, repetitive read-only queries. The other 40%, heavy, latency-sensitive write and simulation requests. If you just blindly slap round-robin on this setup, your incredibly fast reads are going to get stuck in traffic right behind your heavy writes. That's going to totally destroy your cache efficiency and cause some truly wild latency spikes. So to fix this, we implement a hybrid approach. Step 1. You use consistent hashing for your read requests, keying them by account address. This guarantees that those repeated reads hit the exact same endpoint, which preserves your cache warmth. Then, Step 2. You route those heavy writes entirely separately. You send them to dedicated low-latency endpoint pools that are provisioned specifically for heavy compute. By doing this, you maximize throughput for those redundant reads while rigorously protecting the tail latency of your critical write operations. It's the best of both worlds. But you can't just set this up and walk away, right? You absolutely must validate this hybrid architecture by strictly monitoring 3 empirical signals. First, your 95th percentile latency for those heavy writes. Second, your exact cache hit rates per endpoint for your reads. And third, your error rate delta during failover events. If you aren't measuring these specific things, you're basically flying blind on intuition alone. And trust me, in Web3 infrastructure, intuition simply does not scale. So as you prepare for our next lesson, where we'll actually get our hands dirty designing these specific routing rules for mixed traffic shapes, I want you to ask yourself a hard question. Based on these metrics, how would your current routing setup hold up during a massive, unexpected traffic shift? Start gathering that per endpoint telemetry right now, because you are definitely going to need it to simulate these hybrid strategies. Remember, the way you route your requests fundamentally defines the absolute limits of your application's scale. You really need to treat your distribution choices as a finely tuned instrument. So ask yourself today, if your API traffic literally doubled overnight tomorrow, which of your delivery trucks would be the first to break down? Keep building, keep measuring your tail latencies, and please head over to forge.college to dive deeper into the subject and master other Web3 related topics. This explainer was made by Forge College, and I'll see you in the next one.